8.3.11 Introduction. So we've talked about lines that go up. We've talked about lines that go down. We've learned how to write the equations for those. There's two other lines, though, that we haven't talked about. I'm going to delete these, and I want you to see exactly what they look like. Well, this line right here, boom, it's kind of a weird line. Let's talk about it first. So the first thing I want you to know is we always write our equations y equals mx plus b. In this kind of line, what I want you to see is watch. We start down, we cross both lines, the y and the x. We cross both lines, the y and the x. Well, there's the y, there's the x. Now let's undo that one, and I can show you the same way here. Go up. Whoops, let's do it. Let's change that one just a little bit. In this one, we can start down here. We can go up. You notice it still crosses the y and the x-axis. But what do you notice about this line? This line is all about which letter, which line does it cross? I'm looking at it. I don't think this line is ever going to cross the x-axis. So right now, the only thing I know is there's a line that goes through y. There's no line that goes through x. But let's talk about why that's the case. So in many lines, we always count the rise over the run to find our slope. So this is up 1 over 1. But what I want you to notice is this one never goes up. It always goes over. But we still write it the same. My rise over my run. If I were to plug this into a calculator, I get 0 divided by 1 means it has a 0 slope. So cool. I can still look at where it crosses, and I can put that as the b. That becomes my 8. And in this case, my slope becomes 0 divided by 1, which is 0, times x, which has to equal y. Well, 0 times anything always means 0. So guess what? This goes completely away, and I have an equation that looks like this. Y equals 8. And if you'll notice, all the way across this line, y never changes. This point is 12 comma 8. This point is 12 17, 20 comma 12, or 8, 20 comma 8, but they're all have y equaling 8. This one is a y equals 6, so in order to write a line that goes straight across, kind of like I'm walking on a floor, there's 0 slope. I can't go up or down. I don't go up or down. I'm just walking on a flat floor. So in this case, my line is y equals 8. So let's talk about the other line that I showed you initially. This case, I have a line, if I can find it, that goes vertical. Well, if you remember through our conversations, I could walk up this line, I could walk down this line, and I could walk flat across this line. Is there any way at all that I can walk on that line? There's not. So what does that mean? Well, it simply means that it's a line. It doesn't have a no slope, but what it does mean is the only axis it goes through is my x, because y is never used, so the only thing it can be is x equals, where does it cross? 8. But one thing you need to notice also is this. every point along this line, y changes, but x is always 8. So this would be 8 comma 6, 8 comma 10, 8 comma 13, 8 comma 14. So in other words, the equation for this line is just it crosses through x, and it's the only line axis it crosses through, and it begins at that point. So if my line was over here, then it would be x equals -3. If it were here, it'd be x equals 15.